We all make mistakes, whether in our relationships, careers, or personal lives. Yet, while we often talk about forgiveness, forgiving ourselves is frequently the most challenging part. In this discussion, inspired by the teachings of Buddhism, we will explore why it's so hard to let go of our past mistakes and how we can follow practical steps to move forward. Many of us spend a significant amount of time stuck in the past, regretting things we said or did, wishing we could take back certain moments. But dwelling on these mistakes only causes more suffering. What Buddhism offers is a way to address these mistakes, to grow from them, and to ensure we do not waste precious time on self-blame. Acceptance as the first step. The first step in letting go of past mistakes is to accept them. This sounds simple, but it's often the hardest part. Our egos resist the idea that we could be wrong. We want to believe we are always right, but in reality, to err is human. Accepting that you've made mistakes is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is the beginning of personal growth. There's a famous quote that says, "As long as you make mistakes, you are human." The very nature of life ensures that we will inevitably make poor choices from time to time. The problem is not in making mistakes, but in holding on to them. Worrying and brooding over past actions keeps us trapped. Many people waste valuable years regretting decisions. But Buddhism teaches that by accepting these mistakes, we can start the healing process. Ego and self-blame, the biggest obstacles. At the core of our inability to forgive ourselves is the ego. The ego convinces us that we shouldn't have made mistakes, that we should be perfect. Yet perfection is an illusion. We are not divine beings, immune to errors. When we understand that mistakes are part of being human, it becomes easier to accept them. This acceptance leads to self-compassion. Rather than hating ourselves for what we did wrong, we begin to open our hearts to the possibility of moving on. We begin to realize that the mistake itself isn't the real problem. It's our emotional attachment to it that holds us back. The power of confession and sharing. The Buddha also taught that confessing our mistakes is a crucial step in the healing process. However, it's important to choose wisely when sharing your mistakes. Find someone who understands you, someone who will not judge, but offer valuable advice. The act of confessing to another person serves two purposes. It frees your mind from the burden of secrecy and self-blame, and it opens the door to receiving help. Many of us believe that we must handle every problem alone, but asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. There is wisdom in seeking the counsel of others, especially when we face challenges too big for us to overcome on our own. The Buddha emphasized the importance of having noble friends, those who can guide us with compassion and wisdom. A personal example of this can be found in my own life. I once held on to a mistake I made at work for months, convinced that I was solely responsible for the outcome. But after sharing my concerns with a trusted mentor, I realized that my self-blame was exaggerated. By getting an external perspective, I was able to move on from that situation much faster than if I had kept it bottled up. Taking action, learning from mistakes. Once we've accepted our mistakes and shared them with someone we trust, the next step is to take action. The Buddha taught that we must commit to not repeating the same mistakes. While it's inevitable that we will make many mistakes in life, the key is to learn from them. The difference between regression and progression is whether we continue making the same errors or grow through them. We are not meant to be perfect beings who never falter. In fact, each mistake offers a new opportunity to learn. For instance, if you consistently struggle in a particular area of life, like managing your temper, recognizing that this is a recurring issue allows you to develop strategies to handle it better in the future. The point is not to stop making mistakes entirely, but to ensure that each mistake serves as a stepping stone toward growth. I remember a time when I struggled with personal finances. After making poor decisions repeatedly, I finally sat down and analyzed my spending habits. I reached out to a financial advisor who helped me understand where I was going wrong. By taking the right actions, such as creating a budget and sticking to it, I was able to avoid making the same mistakes again. The value of noble friends and wise counsel. The Buddha's teachings also highlight the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who encourage our growth. In life, we will encounter many people who are quick to judge or who offer unhelpful advice. It is crucial to find at least one person who can understand our struggles without judgment. This person can provide us with the support and wisdom needed to make better decisions in the future. Just like in sports, having a coach or mentor who understands your weaknesses and helps you improve is invaluable. In life, too, surrounding yourself with noble friends ensures that you stay on the right path. A close-knit group of wise individuals can make the difference between feeling stuck in your mistakes and progressing toward a better version of yourself. Embracing mistakes is part of life. To conclude, it is essential to understand that mistakes are an inevitable part of life. The Buddhist teachings on dealing with mistakes emphasize 3 key steps: acceptance, confession, and taking action. First, accept that mistakes will happen and that they do not define your worth as a person. Second, find someone you trust and confess your mistakes, opening yourself to advice and support. Finally, take the necessary actions to ensure that you learn from these mistakes and avoid repeating them. By following these steps, you can stop worrying about the past and start using your energy to create a better future. Remember, every mistake is an opportunity for growth. As long as you are human, you will make mistakes, but each one brings with it the potential for wisdom and self-improvement. So, embrace your humanity, learn from your errors, and move forward with a heart open to change and progress.